Well, hi YouTube, this is gonna be a video I planned a long time ago to do, and today I got some extra time, so I'm gonna do it today and hopefully you will like it. It's going to be about how I record my drum covers in general and what equipment I use and whatever I seem to take care of. So starting with the equipment, of course there are my beautiful, you all will know them by now, my beautiful LB custom drums. Those are, yes, they are phenomenal and they glow, I know. So this is a 12" by 8" rack tom, and there is a 16" by 15" floor tom together with the my 20" kick. It is all acrylic shells with candy blue hardware. The bass drum got this beautiful blue glitter hoop, golden claws and tension rods, and of course the LEDs inside. They can glow in whatever color you want. I have this super fancy wireless remote over here that where you can just turn whatever you want. You can dim it down or take a little bit off the color if you want like more a white look or whatever. So but I like the fancy colors. So you can pick a program so the colors start to change by themselves, which is always pretty nice. And as you can see, there are these beautiful splatters inside. I think they give it a really cool look, especially when the lights are on, because you don't really get to see it when the lights are off, and then you turn them on and boom, it's just very, very gorgeous. Together with my drum set there is this LB drum snare. It's, I don't know if you can read it, it says Sophia, which is my name. Yeah, so it's really custom. I really decided everything on that snare. It is a 13" by 7" hybrid, which is a maple in a custom mixed green blue satin stain and white acrylic center, which looks very cool. It also has the LEDs in it, but I didn't turn it on right now. Maybe I will later. It has everything you want. The really cool flick throw off with 3 positions from tight, medium, loose, medium and very tight, which is very cool if you want to change your snare sound between songs. Die-cast hoops and this changing lugs from smaller single tube lugs to these double-ended, which I think is very cool. Black nickel hardware and white LEDs inside. I'm pretty happy with that. The sound is amazing. If you need a snare for, especially for touring or for live acts, get this snare, because when you tune it high, you really have nothing to care. Then let's switch over to my cymbals, which are also very beautiful, because I finally found a company that is willing to work with me, and it really is a great friendship between us. So I proudly play Diril cymbals. I can highly recommend them. Great Turkish cymbals for a really fair price, and there are no limitations. You have so much lines to choose from. As you can see, I didn't pick just cymbals from one line, but I mixed them because they sound amazing together. This is a Rawbell Splash in 10". My traditional hi-hat in 14". I kind of play around with the cymbal setup, as you can see. Right now I mounted the 19" traditional crash on my left, and this baby is by far my favorite cymbal, the 20" shiny ride. I use it as a crash ride and it's just amazing. It has a very clear crash sound, but also that nice bell sound when needed. I really like the cymbal, that's why I have it mounted here, because it's in the center and I'm hitting it always. This one is another bad boy, an 18" aggressive chiner, and as you can guess from the name, it's really aggressive. So when I record the drums later on, you will see why, because I think you will really be able to hear it. And on my right hand there is another 18" crash. It's a Rawbell It's really cool because, as the name says, only the bed is raw, the rest is shiny. It looks very cool and it sounds amazing, especially recorded. So for other gear, I'm using a Tama Speed Cobra. I can highly recommend these pedals because they have the long board, very sensitive, and they give you much power. I really like that. You can play easy and clean with it, and when you don't play clean with these pedals, you're definitely not gonna play any cleaner on other pedals, if you ask me. For my height stand, it's still the DW8000 because I didn't have the money to buy the fitting height model from Tama Speed Cobra, and I really don't care so much because it's just a look thing. For sticks, I more or less always use Vader 5B power sticks. They're very cool. They're a little bit longer and a little bit heavier than the normal 5Bs, and I really like that. They're very, very handy, and for me they fit perfectly. I used to use 2Bs, but I made too many holes in the head. Yeah, so I choose the lighter version again. For microphones, let's do this pretty quick. I have a Sennheiser Evolution Series 604 on my both toms, and also on my snare side resonant head. Standard Shure SM57 on snare top, which is a very... You see this mic in every studio and it has its reason. Shure 2 Rode NT5 as overheads. They are very cool. They give a very clear sound. I like them very much as drum overheads. There's also this condenser mic. It's from an unknown German brand. It just says BM. It's very cool because I use it as a secondary mic to get more splash and hi-hat sound, which is very cool when you just use the pedal for the hi-hat, so you really still can hear it. And I also use this, another one of these, you can say it like as a room mic. It's not really an amazing room mic, but it gets this job done, and when you really compress the sound of this mic and put some reverb on it, it really sounds like the drums were in a big room, which is very nice. When, I don't know if you can really see it or if it gets clear, but I try to point the room mic not from here at the drums, like I would take a photo, but I try to make snare and kick being in the center, because later when I mix the drums, I pan everything of course, but it's important to have bass drum and snare in the center, because I'm not gonna pan these two signals later on, so there are no strange sounds. For my bass drum I have an AKG D112, one of the standard bass drum microphones too. I used to mic my bass drum from within again, but not at the moment, not feeling it quite right now. So yeah, for heads this is a custom printed Remo Powerstroke 4, I guess. On the toms I have Evans G2 coated on top and Evans Easy Resonance on the bottom. And for snare it's just a standard Evans HD coated on top, and I think still the snare side Ambassador head on bottom. So yeah, so much for that. If you really care, this is just a not so cheap Mapex drum throne. It's amazing because there are no you can set up the height exactly the way you want. If you need any in-ear headphones, I really doesn't focus right. I really can highly recommend these. Are Shure SE215, and they are just amazing. They are not custom fitted in my ear, but they fit perfectly, and they really have an amazing sound. I also use them when I like go on a trip something and have to drive bus. They are amazing. You don't hear other stupid people's comment on whatever what, so it's really great. For my interface where all the mics run in, it's my beloved Alesis Multimix Firewire 16. I'm not using all of these channels right now. I think I'm using all except of one. My marks here are still from the time when I used 3 toms. and just bass drum snare to over it, so it's long ago, to be honest. So yeah. For software, this is actually gonna be in two parts because there are two computers for recording drums. Well, not for recording, but for the cover stuff. There's this one right here. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's my boyfriend's old computer. It runs Cubase SX, and it's just there for recording. There are no effects on the different mix because I just don't need it. Later on, I'm gonna use this amazing 4 GB USB stick and put all the sounds and the complete project to my other computer upstairs. So yeah, now I'm gonna, hopefully the camera won't die, but I will show you some recording, and then we will see us later when we go upstairs again, and then you can see the magic. Okay, see you. So here we are again. This part of the video is actually going to be about what I do in Cubase when I'm upstairs in my own room. As you can see, I'm not in the basement anymore. These are my two new Yamaha HS80 monitors, studio monitors. They are very nice. They give a very clear sound and really show you what your stuff sounds like at the moment, so they're really good investment. What else do I have here? I have the scrappy MIDI keyboard and my interface, which also happens to have the two monitors set up so I can control it, which actually works pretty good. Sometimes it all fucks up, but yeah, at the moment it's fine. I'm not having this on right now because the camera wouldn't do any justice. So what I did, as you can see, here are my multiple drum lines. As you can see on top, I hope you can see it, there's the first is my bass drum, and I copied that to just exactly the same to have. So here I have a bass drum sound. I can show you in the equalizer, which is more or less high, and almost deleted all the low end, and this is my low bass, which actually has the exact opposite, because that makes it a little bit more easier for me to get a good low end and don't miss much of the highs, which is very cool for me. It actually works. No, stop playing. So what is important when you do stuff like that, in general when you record, I don't know, to avoid phase issues, if you have, especially when you just copy one thing, you should change the phase so you don't delete some of the sounds. By the way, this is the mixer view, and you can see all the insert effects that are on the different mic settings. So yeah, actually the sound was pretty good just raw from the mics, after panning and making them all, as you can see, adjusting the volumes of each mic. They sounded pretty good, very raw. So the sound I actually made with all the plugins and stuff is more for stuff when you do a drum cover and you have some music together with it, because otherwise I think it sounds a little bit like too compressed and too much not natural enough, but yeah, you get the deal. What I actually did, yeah, you saw already the bass drum. Another thing is just a compressor, nothing too fancy. actually on everything. It's very raw. I compressed the bass drum and the snare, and also the room mic. The overheads are compressed a tiny bit, but I think I muted the compressor. And my master track is also compressed. Then some basic EQ for the snare, for example, for snare sound downside. For my toms, it's the same on both. And yeah, a little bit of Roomworks, a little bit reverb for the snare, and that's pretty much it. It's really not that much. And now I'm gonna show you what it sounds like, and it's all a little bit crazy because I actually don't save it. Actually did this before, and now I'm skipping back to this, so it's actually very crazy because I'm gonna cut this into the middle and it's gonna be really crazy. So stay tuned.